Well, the beam has been lit a lot on this road trip. Make it another W for Sacramento. It got a little dicey there at the end, but they end up winning it 123 to 115. What a road trip. 5-1 with one game remaining against the Cavaliers. How about the Aaron Fox? Wow. How about the Aaron Fox?
Special tonight. I mean, if he was not out there making plays for this team in the second half, I'm not sure if they would have won this game, to be honest, the way it was going. But he comes through in the clutch. This team, Grant, 5 wins on a trip. A very weird trip, as you and Jerry said, 7 games. So great job by the Kings. Hopefully they can keep this going.
Yeah. Again, Fox said he didn't care whether he was going to be in the All-Star team or not. The last 24 hours seems to me that he does care.
Yeah, I think so.
That, right?
Yeah. Well, the rhetoric right now is it's his son's birthday, so he put on a little bit of a show, but I think it might have something to do with the All-Star.
Yeah. Well, whatever the reason is, keep it up, right? Just keep going. We love having you here on the post-game show. If you want to send the messages, join us, whatever the case it may be, we would love to have you. 123 to 115, the final. How about 14-11? That's the Kings' record on the road now.
Grant, as much as we don't want to talk about last year, the similarities are there in that this team is still playing well on the road, and that's one thing you do want to point out because that's the sign of a good team. So if they can improve on the home court, I mean, Grant, they're starting to play a brand of basketball at times when they move offensively that is very difficult to guard.
Well, very true. And I keep on pointing to this now schedule, which starts against Cleveland, who's playing very well. They're going to win again tonight. But then your 4 of your last 5 4 of your last 5 games, Denver at home, at Oklahoma City, at Phoenix, at Denver. I mean, you have a chance to go into the All-Star break full steam ahead if you can win some of those games. That would just give you great confidence going into the All-Star break. But yeah, their road record is very impressive. Here's why I think that is so impressive. I still think it's more likely than not that the Kings will not have home court in the first round of the playoffs. I think they're going to be on the road.
I agree.
This team doesn't seem to matter. They don't care if they're on the road. As a matter of fact, you can make the argument that you're more confident when they are on the road than they're at home,
Right. I would not disagree. Grant, why don't we put this up for everybody since we're talking about it? This is the Kings' last 5 games. Check out the stats, Grant. I mean, it's pretty impressive what they're doing. And we talk again about the balance as we get those stats up for you right here via NBA.com. The balance with what this team is doing with field goal percentage. We look at, here we go, wins, losses. These are the last 5 games for the Kings are actually coming into tonight. It didn't update, but they're playing great basketball, Grant. This is much different than what we've seen from this team pretty much all season.
Yeah, I mean, again, I love when you put up those wins and losses and the numbers. So, yeah, those numbers are very interesting. Every time I look at these stats, I'm just like, wow, very, very interesting. But, just keep winning. You just offensively, when this team is in sync, they're fun to watch. They're very fun to watch when they're flowing offensively. And that means, as you said, the basketball is moving.
The basketball is moving, and Grant, it's Jekyll and Hyde, and I think we have to talk about that because does this team, as we come up to the trade deadline, you saw this team last year make a huge run in the second half of the season, starting right around the trade deadline. Do you keep this team the same, the way that they're playing through this road trip and not make any big moves?
Well, I don't think they're going to make a big move. I didn't think they were going to make a big move a month ago. But no, my feeling is if you can improve the team, you improve the team. If you are the person that's making the decisions and you feel that you can make the team better, you always try to make the team better. So I wouldn't rule it out. But do I think it's going to be major? No, it's not going to be major.
And when you talk about major, though, I think a great point that we can talk about and illustrate is Kobe Jones tonight. How about him? He was special for the Bulls. And
yes,
he's only on he's on an $11 million contract this year, $12 million next year, $12 million the following year. Players like him could possibly be available at that price range. So there are those fringe moves that could greatly help this team on the bench and their depth.
Yeah, and one thing I think I would love to see this team get better at, and that's their free throw shooting. Now tonight wasn't bad. They were 82%. That's excellent. But we don't see that on enough nights. We just don't see it enough.
We do not. As we said earlier, we want to hear from you. So go ahead, call in. We got the link all in the chat. You can also hit that QR code. We get to Vlad. Welcome in, Vlad, on If You Don't Like That.
Hey, how's it going, Ryan? Or wait, your name's Ryan, right? Yeah. But yeah. I want to talk to Grant. I called in last week. We had a good convo. I'm very happy about the Kings win, and I actually want to throw some food for thought. So, 16 years ago, do you remember the biggest comeback in Kings history?
Yes.
It was at Chicago. You called it.
Yes. I will never forget it.
35
Absolutely.
points. Yes.
Yep.
Tyreek went bananas.
Yep.
It was great. So yeah, I'm happy about the win. Glad to talk to you again, Grant. First time talking to Ryan. I like his content. I like he tries to play like the devil's advocate, like on the more positive side, and I like that because there are sometimes we have awful games where we're just not clicking, but Ryan can find a little pin in the needle stack, and he can make us feel better. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, Vlad. I do have to say though, I give all the credit to the Kings. They've conditioned me well.
Right.
How long have you been watching the Kings, Ryan?
Pretty much my entire life, Vlad. As long as I can remember.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I just have a couple things to touch on. I'm not going to go too long. So I work for a pharmaceutical company, and I'm getting flown out to Memphis. The last time I've heard Grant, yeah. Where do I go, Grant, where I don't get robbed?
Well, I'm not an expert. My buddy Eric Hasseltine, who is the voice of the Grizzlies, he lives outside of Memphis and says that the suburbs are spectacularly beautiful. He said it's a phenomenal place to live. But if you're in the city, then that's lights. The city is terrible. But there are a lot of cities in America that could make that claim right now. I'm not.
I know. Yeah, you're not like a travel expert. I'm not asking for
but I mean,
like advice.
The suburbs of Memphis, everyone tells me are beautiful. So, good luck.
Okay. Yeah. All I want to do is I want to go there. I want to do my stuff for my job, and I want to come back and probably not get shot. I mean, that'd be nice.
So you know what? I mean, I don't want to. I know.
Yeah, I know. You can't speculate.
I know you're trying to be funny, but let's not be funny about stuff
I'm not trying to be funny. I'm serious.
Well,
I'm not trying to be funny. I'm literally scared to go to Memphis. I'm not being funny.
Well, Vlad, we appreciate. You know what? It's a valid concern. This is a Kings basketball show.
Yes, I understand. I will hang up, but let me just. Grant, keep doing what you're doing, man. I love you.
Thank you,
Vlad. So I'll hang up.
I appreciate you, and good luck in Memphis. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
Thanks, Vlad.
All right. I do appreciate the call, but let's not go overboard with this stuff, okay? I mean, I said I don't care for Memphis. I didn't say that if you go there, you're going to get shot, all right? So, I mean, come on. All right, 123 to 115. Sacramento gets the win. They are now 5-1 on this road trip, and it is one more game left. Probably the toughest game of this road trip is upcoming when they take on the red-hot, sizzling Cleveland Cavaliers. Hey, if you have issues with plumbing, go to sackserviceplumbing.com or call the number on your screen. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you, and they're available around the clock 24/7 for all of your plumbing needs and repairs. That's New Works Plumbing, sackserviceplumbing.com or the number on your screen.
And do not forget, if you haven't already, make sure you go to your Grant's YouTube channel. I should say you can find all of the content up there, including exclusive rants. So scan that QR code, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. We would greatly appreciate it.
All right. Again, the Kings get another road win, 123 to 115. And again, the Cleveland Cavaliers are up next for Sacramento. But listen, we thought 4-3 you would take it, and I never thought we'd be sitting there talking about 5-1 going into Cleveland. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. And credit to them for how they've stepped up. If anything, this all-star snub has galvanized this team because the last couple nights, or at least
Yep.
the last 6 quarters, excluding the second half tonight, this team has played as a team, and it hasn't been one individual. I think if you do, I'm going to go the opposite of Vlad here. You want to point one direction tonight that bothered me. Sabonis, only 8 shots tonight. I know he had a triple-double. Continues the double-double streak. 8 shots when you're dominating the paint in the first half is not enough, in my opinion, Grant.
Yeah, they're going to need more against Cleveland. Cleveland's won 9 of 10. They're going to win tonight. That will be their 5th in a row. Again, they're playing very well. This is going to be a heck of a test for Sacramento. It's getaway day, meaning you're going back home. You've been on the road for a long time, and you gotta focus and you gotta zero in on this game coming up in Cleveland.
We go back to the phones. Throw your hands up. It's Condog 209. Welcome to If You Don't Like That, bud.
Look like Shrek.
Condog, you got us? We're gonna put Condog back in the audience when we get the audio figured out. Grant, I couldn't hear him. Did you have him?
No, I thought Shrek was joining us, with the green
Shrek.
face. Shrek, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shrek
was green, right? Or maybe
Shrek
the
was
Jolly Green Giant, whatever.
Yeah, you got Shrek, Jolly Green. Those are the first two. The Hulk, Great Hulk.
Yeah, the Hulk.
Hulk.
Yeah.
I think Gumby. You remember Gumby? What happened to Gumby?
That's a great. We could have some folks do some research on that. That's a very, very, very good question. I don't know.
I think maybe that should be a podcast, Grant.
Yeah. I'll let you work on that for me, okay?
Yeah, I got it. So, anyways, well, this Cleveland team, Grant, the Kings roll into there. You say getaway day. Is that as cliche as some fans think, or does getaway day really play a difference for a team on this long of a road trip?
I would just say it makes a difference, and that I've been on both sides of the equation before, but unpacking, packing, traveling in and out of hotels, everything else over this long of a period of time, guys are really anxious to get back home. Those that are married with families are anxious to get home. It's just you want to get back into your routine, especially when you're in the middle of the country where it's frigid and you're going to be going back to some rain. It looks like, well, the rain would be over. But the point is the temperatures are much warmer. All of that factors into it. I mean, trust me, I've been there. I've done that. When you're in Cleveland, okay, and everything is gray, and I mean that. The wintertime in Cleveland, it's gray and cold and windy. And you
just ask Joakim Noah. Just ask Joakim Noah, Napes.
Yeah. Really, you want to get the hell out of there and you do. Trust me, you do.
Some cities are catching some stray fire tonight. Cleveland,
oh my God.
Memphis.
Well, don't you? Yeah, Vlad's put this show right off the rails. I mean, I'm trying to get the damn thing back on the tracks, but Vlad just completely derailed the show. You know what I'm saying? Like I normally have a comeback for everything. I'm like, come on, really? So.
I mean, he didn't exactly throw you a couple softballs. I mean, those were, as they call it in business, difficult transitions.
I mean, I've talked about I don't like Memphis, that I think it's not a safe city like a lot of other cities in America. Now he's worried about not getting shot. I mean, that's really what we're talking about on the postgame show. Come on now. Bottom line here is that you are looking forward to getting home if you're the Kings. You are. Now, does that mean they're not going to come out and play? Well, no, it doesn't mean that. I mean, a lot has to do with your mentality, how you prepare, everything else. So I find that to be more true on the last game before the All-Star break than the last game of the road trip. I've always found that to be very true when it is the last game of the road trip. Or before the All-Star break. And it seems like every year we were on the road, guys have their bags packed and everyone's going in a different direction most of the time. And I really mean this. Flying home for the All-Star break on the Kings charter, sometimes you'd only have like 2 or 3 players because everyone else
Yeah.
is going their own way, you know.
I
And
remember
so,
your story. I remember your story before the All-Star break.
yeah, yeah. So, my story, I don't know if you could ever top that story, but the yeah. But seriously, and I really mean this. I had some phenomenal stories before the All-Star break. One with my son getting on Rabracha's private jet to go to the Bahamas, and Rip Hamilton is on there. And my son is 6, and he literally was the biggest Rip Hamilton fan. And he's talking to him about his days at UConn. He's talking to him about his days playing with Washington. And Rip was just blown away that a 6-year-old could know so much. But yeah, but no, you really do look. A lot of guys have their mind elsewhere on that particular day. So
that's a big break for the guys that aren't playing in the game or don't have
Yes.
commitments with the NBA. So, all right, we are going back to the phones. Jack's going to get us back on track on the phones. Welcome to If You Don't Like That, Jack.
Hey, how you doing? So I think
Great to have you.
De'Aaron Fox, I think this All-Star snub, I think it took him right out of the slump tonight. I think him not making the All-Star game absolutely just changed everything.
Napes?
I'm not ready to say that just yet based on 2 games. I don't think he should be on the All-Star team based on who is put ahead of him. Domantas Sabonis, on the other hand, I think he's got a tremendous argument to be on the All-Star team. Now, I would also say this. I think if there's a injury between now and the All-Star game in the backcourt, Fox will be the guy that gets on. He was the next guy. I mean, I don't think anybody would dispute that. He to me is an all-star caliber player, but I can't gripe based on the players that play guard that are ahead of him. But if one of those players should turn an ankle or what have you, Fox would be added. Just, you got to remember, the same thing happened last year.
Yep.
He was not named an all-star reserve, if you remember. And then I think he replaced Steph Curry on the all-star team. Did he not?
I think it was him or Ja, yeah.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
And then Trey Lyles.
But I'll tell you this, he has the last 2 games. I mean, he's played it. Well, I actually think most of this road trip, and correct me if you disagree, guys, I think he's brought his A game on this road trip. And we said before the team left to go play the Warriors that the Kings would not win 4 of the 7 games if Fox did not play his A version of basketball. Guys, I think he's done that this whole road trip.
And I think that's sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Jack. Go ahead.
I think that's what separates him from the rest of the field. I think that's why he's an all-star, or not an all-star, but like a superstar caliber player. I think the ability to lead your team, that's why I think we won the Halliburton trade. The ability to lead your team and come out of these, lead through adversity. It's not all about the stats. I think that's why Fox is really a great leader for our team, and that's why we're a good team.
Hold on, Jack. I got to challenge you there for a second. How long did he go without talking to the media?
I want to say 2 weeks, or I'm not sure.
So there's no clear report on what happened there. Things are back on track. The team chemistry looks to be better, but regardless of whether or not the fault lies with the player or the organization, one of the two, and as the player, you can't wait for in my opinion, the problem to come to a head, right? Yeah. I would want, if De'Aaron's the leader of this team, I would have liked to see that kind of be handled a little different or taken care of a little sooner. And when I say leader of this team, I'm talking about face of the franchise. You think Kings, that's the first person you think of.
That's true. I mean, yeah. I mean, off the court, there's been, but on the court, I just think he's done a phenomenal job this season. I mean, He's had his ups and downs, but yeah.
Jack, your call is really good. I'm going to also say something, and I think both teams won the trade. Yeah. I think the Indiana Pacers feel like they won the trade, and the Kings feel like they won the trade. And you know what I like about that, Jack? I like trades that work out very well for both teams. And this trade has worked out very well for Sacramento, and it's worked out very well for Indiana. And I think that if both teams could go back and make the trade again, I think they both would make it again. I really do.
And it's a rare occurrence. That rarely happens.
Yep.
Amen. Yep. Great point. Jack, thank you so much for the call.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Guys. This is a lesson. Thank you so much.
Good job, buddy. Definitely. Call again. Nice job. Thank you very much.
Yep. So, Grant, that was a great call. we talked about this. It was either last post game or it was with Jerry when we did Grant and Jerry. Kings fans, it was refreshing to hear from Jack say those things about Fox. And I know that it's on a night that Fox had a good game, but I think we got to take a step back. De'Aaron Fox only has 2 legs. There's 8 other legs on that court wearing a Kings uniform. And when those guys don't move, that makes De'Aaron's job all that much more difficult. He's already the target of the defense. You get guys not moving, good night. It's really hard. So you got to put something into that as well.
He's the quarterback of the team. As De'Aaron Fox goes the Sacramento Kings. And when he plays well, the Kings normally win. And when he doesn't play well, the Kings normally lose.
Spot on, Napes. All right, we are going international. Sorry, earlier we didn't get you on, Baki, but you are on now. Welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. How are you?
How are you, man?
I'm fine, thanks. Well, what I see in this road trip was great Kings. I mean, better Kings than all previous games for me. Those road trip games. I don't know what you think. I mean, those
Grant?
last 5 games really mature. Really, they know what to do and when to do, and they push the button. And okay, maybe this game with Chicago was upside down, but again, you go up 30. It's not easy to do anyway.
No, you're right. I'm gonna answer your question at the end of the next road trip when they play at Oklahoma City, at Phoenix, and at Denver. Okay, if the Kings win 2 of those 3, I will be a big time believer in this team. And I'm not taking anything away from Sacramento because they have had a hell of a road trip, and I'm not taking anything away. They have had every possible break that you can have on a long road trip. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, that's part of it, and you got to take advantage of your breaks. But they've had the table set beautifully, and to their credit, they've taken advantage of it.
But Napes, are we taking too much out of that? It feels like and I'm not saying you specifically, it feels like there's a caveat every time we talk about the Kings' success last year. Well, they were healthy all year, and now this year they got lucky on this 7-game road trip that could have made or break the first half of the season.
Okay. I always look at what is the goal of this season, and to me, it's to win a playoff series.
Yes.
And I'm every time we talk about a game that we just watched, every time we talk about a player, every time we talk about should the Kings make a trade or not, when we talk about free throw shooting, when we talk about, well, gee, can they win when they don't make threes? All of these things that we talk about on a nightly basis on this show, I have one vision in mind. And that vision is, will this team be successful when the playoffs begin?
Mm-hmm.
And if the answer to that question is no, then that to me is disappointing. To me, this team needs to win a playoff series to validate everything that we talk about on a nightly basis. That's where I'm at. You have 2, regardless of whether they're on the All-Star team or not, you have 2 All-Stars on your team in Fox and Sabonis, okay? When you have 2 All-Stars on your team, you really should win a playoff series. The question is, can this team do that?
Yeah, that is the question. Baki, is that
Also,
your...
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. I just want to add. I agree with Grant. You never take 1 or 2 games as a marker or for something. But I don't know if you notice the last 2 games, maybe 3 games. Kings played defense and offense in the same game.
I wouldn't say. Well, I think Baki, we have to use the word defense, and Grant, well, I'll kick it to you as well loosely. I think the Kings were very aggressive in the passing lanes the last 2 games, as the steals have shown. But there was too many times tonight that the Bulls just from the top of the key straight to the hoop. Mike Brown calling a timeout. So the defense is still not there.
Maybe we should really give some credit to Chicago Bulls tonight for the second half.
Sure.
You don't gonna see teams going down 30 and then going back like that. Usually teams going down and never come back, but those Chicago Bulls were great tonight. And also
Yeah, but the
one
Bulls
other,
aren't a good team either. The Bulls are not a good team. I mean, they're
yeah,
what, 4 games
They're
under 500.
24th in the league at shooting the 3-ball. They only made
Yeah.
11 tonight, only shot 34. So, yeah, it's hard
yeah,
for
but
them.
they fought.
ahead.
They
Yeah,
fought.
they did. And
It says, I want to get to this, that Donovan Mitchell was ejected from the game tonight for fighting with Zach Collins. And I didn't see that, but if a punch was thrown, that means he would be suspended for the Kings game.
When that happened,
I don't know.
didn't
I'm
see.
just looking at Tim put a message up on the chat line. I'll put it up for everyone. I didn't see the game. But again, if, and I'm saying if a punch was thrown, then you would be suspended. So, but we'll see. Hey, here's the bottom line. The Kings are doing everything they're supposed to be doing right now. Okay, that's where we're at. They are doing everything they're supposed to be doing right now. And if you go back to 12 months ago when the All-Star break hit, this is really where the team took off last year.
yes,
This is where they took off. Could they do it again? Sure, why not? Yes, they could.
May I ask only one more question?
Yes.
And that will wrap it up. Do you think they have any chance to catch those 4 teams in top 4?
I'm going to answer that question after next week when they play Denver twice in a span of
Okay.
5 games. Okay.
Okay.
I don't think they can catch Minnesota. I don't think they can catch Oklahoma City. And the reason why I say that is they're 4 games back in the loss column of the Thunder, the Timberwolves, and the Clippers.
Yeah, I know.
That's significant at this juncture of the season because those teams have not showed any symptoms of we're in trouble. Like they're passing every test. Denver, to me, you're only, shouldn't say only, but the biggest issue I see with catching Denver, Baki, Denver has 5 more wins than the Kings right now. That's significant.
Yeah,
So
but two games more.
In order for the Kings to catch Denver, Baki, in my opinion, they would have to beat them twice next week. They'd have to win both the games.
But how many games they played more of the Kings? They
have 3 games left.
3.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't
interesting.
know. Yeah, it is
guys,
interesting.
Guys, there's only 32 games left.
That's well, and that's the interesting thing. I mean, it goes fast, but I look at this Kings team and call me crazy. This is my take. I'm a real believer in momentum. I would like to be the Kings and how they're positioned and how they play or they're playing right now than be the Timberwolves. I think they are starting to find their groove and peak at the right time.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree. But Baki, again, I want to make this point. You have 32 or 33 games left, and the team that you're chasing has 5 more wins than you do. The only way you're going to catch them, in my opinion, without being able to forecast an injury to the Joker, is you're going to have to beat them every time you play them head-to-head because that really counts as 2 games.
Well, at the end, if we're going to be in the bottom 4, let's be on the number 5 and let's be Oklahoma on number 4, and it's okay with me.
Thank you, Baki.
Thank you, Baki, for the call. There is a lot of basketball left in the season. Grant, I think this is a good question. We do this from time to time. What is your grade for the last 5 games?
I give him an A.
A plus, no A plus. Is it the
I can't
Memphis?
give him an A plus because of the Miami game.
Would you call that a good loss if you can have a good loss?
It wasn't a bad loss. Let's put it that way. It wasn't a bad loss. You know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it has to be.
I'm giving Bennett's an A plus. All right, that they do get an A plus. All right, and they have 3 locations, including this West Side Grill in Rockland, which I will be at this next week, not this coming week, but the following week. You'll see me at probably all 3 Bennett's locations: Sacramento, Roseville, and the West Side Grill. I will be there probably. I'm going to be in Sacramento for 7 days. I think I'll be at Bennett's at least 4 times. That's how much I love it. The prime seafood and steak. It's awesome. The weekend brunch, the weekend prime rib, go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. That's Bennett'sRestaurants.com. Make a reservation and more. I will be getting the New York prime when I'm there. I cannot freaking wait.
Well, you do the New York prime, Napes. I'm going for the Bubbles and Brunch tomorrow. $44, 2 entrees,
Nice.
bottle of champagne. Can you find a better way to spend your Sunday when there's no football?
Awesome. Good
Yeah,
for you. And it's
I'm
supposed
going.
to. And you guys, you got bad weather coming in. You got a lot of rain coming your way.
Bennett's is worth bearing the elements for. You
Oh
know
yeah, no.
this.
Well, you're sitting. You will be sitting inside, correct? I mean,
Oh,
you're not going to be sitting in the parking lot. Okay, you're going to be inside. So yes, it is. But I was just looking at the weather forecast, and at Pebble Beach for tomorrow, they're expecting like they're probably there's no way they're going to be able to play. I don't think, but a couple of inches of rain with wind gust up to 60 miles per hour. It's not it's not going to happen. So. Everyone stay safe. That's for sure. The Kings are staying safe because they're just mowing their competition down. And now the very short flight from Chicago to Cleveland. And then you're back home.
And we will keep an eye out for Donovan Mitchell. Ejected tonight. Was there a punch thrown?
Tim said no punches were thrown. So he'll
punches.
be playing.
All right. Donovan will be there and available for the Cavs if nothing else happens. Napes, I'm freezing up. I'm going to let you take us home.
Okay, buddy. Sounds good. I want to tell you about Calusa Sunrise and their phenomenal development there, and you can check it out yourself. All right. It is Sunrise Landing from Blazona Development. And if you go to CalusaSunrise.com, you can check out their various models to choose from, 6 in all, no Mellorews, no homeowners at Sunrise Landing. Again, go to CalusaSunrise.com. That's CalusaSunrise.com and check out for yourself Sunrise Landing. Well, the Kings get the victory tonight. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll have the finale for you. Yeah, Kings and Cavs. Can they go 6-1? We'll be talking about pregame, halftime with Jerry, postgame show right here on If You Don't Like That. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. So long.